He brought his homework because he's going to talk to us tonight about Michael, which is not a person, but it's a program, something that's going on at MJC, and it's for the adults.
You betcha. You betcha. Anywhere from 40s to 90s.
Oh, I'm included in that. I can't be involved in the Young Dems, but Michael, I can.
Right. Well, we cover a wide spectrum. Our youngest is probably mid-40s, and our eldest are in their mid-90s. And we wonder if some of these Michaelites are going to be with us eternally because they do so well. And Michael really enhances the vitality of all of us, both physically and mentally, emotionally. Socializing is a big part of our involvement. We're a part of Modesto Junior College, and most of your listeners have undoubtedly gotten this community education pamphlet in the mail. I'm not sure how extensively they mail them out, but and if you flip through, you see MICL, and that's what we all refer to as Michael. It stands for Modesto Institute for Continued Learning. Now that's more than a mouthful, so you can understand why we just say Michael. And
let me take a look at that while you're talking, because I didn't notice this. I didn't flip through it when I received mine because I was going to be out of town, but let me just look through here. Okay, so the Michael program is something separate or inclusive of MJC?
Both. It's it's
Okay.
We are hidden in the back of MJC West Campus.
Okay.
So we're there, but just barely. We're in a building which was built at the beginning of World War II, and one of our senior-most members, actually worked in the old state hospital when it was there. And right in front of us, the new Grand Science Building has been recently completed. But we've been happily there for many years. The program has actually existed. We're in our 27th year now. And it's blossomed to where we have about 250 students. Now, I use that word loosely because even though we're part of the school, we're not just a school. Michael is very much a community of people. And the average age is probably in the 70s. In fact, I say that you don't really get much respect around there unless you're 70 or so. But the vitality of our people in the 70s and 80s is really amazing. And well, as we speak, it's the 26th of August, and this is the first day of our new semester. And I was there this morning at 9 o'clock. The class didn't start until 10, but the place was packed by quarter till. We are able, thankfully, to park all around our building, and it was just a buzz of people chatting. And the classes always run from 10 to 12 and then 1 to 3. Two classes each day, Monday through, on Friday we have a film. But every semester we have different classes, and it's all done by the Michael members. So it's an all volunteer operation.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. If Michael is an organization that you have to join in order to take the classes?
Yes, but you only
Is that
have
a membership
to
form that you brought me?
well, here's my ID badge. Because our memories aren't necessarily as sharp as they used to be, we encourage people to wear ID badges so we can remember your name. And through MJC Community Education, you just pay one fee, $40 for the whole semester, no matter how many classes you take. So some people actually come just about every day of the week, and other people think of it as a school and they think, well, I'm going to take this class, and so they'll only come for one class, and then they start meeting people and they discover that these people also come to some other class, and they end up maybe sampling a few classes and often come to 2 days a week.
Well, you said that it's run by volunteers.
Right.
So if I understand this correctly, the people who are teaching the classes are volunteers as well?
Right, with
So-
rare exceptions, and we occasionally will have a professor, a retired professor, who will teach a class. But even they are actually volunteering with us.
Like
They're
a
not
master
paid.
class or something?
Yeah, well, a more formal class. For example, let me run through our offerings for the fall. Our first class, Monday morning, every Monday morning, and this is one of our classes that's we've offered since year one, I think. We call it Travels Around the World. And this morning, a lady in a wheelchair, Cynthia Henry, who actually lives in some place called Manteca, spoke to us about her travels in Rio de Janeiro and Buenos Aires and northern Argentina, and a very polished presentation, really impressive, very lively lady, despite the fact that her legs are, and I don't know what the limitations were, what causes her limitations. Next Monday will be a holiday, and then the offerings will be about Canada. Sue Wilkie is the presenter, who happens to be our Spanish teacher, and then about Tennessee and World War II Museum. It's Gene Richards, who's a retired TWA pilot. And September 23rd about Costa Rica, Joyce Starkey, who happens to be our Michael historian. Then on Monday afternoon, we have a class called Women Artists, and this afternoon's was about Clara Driscoll. Now, have you ever heard of Clara Driscoll?
No, I have not.
Have you ever heard of Tiffany?
Yes.
Well, she was the real creative genius behind Tiffany
Wow.
lamps, and it's really one of those scandalous historical things. And I must say, our ladies at Michael love to reveal all the outrageous ways that women have been kept down or ignored in decades past, hopefully past. And then here's the offering semester throughout the first.
Yeah, it looks
5
very
weeks.
interesting. So it appears that there are classes twice on Monday, and in the morning is the Travels Around the World, in the afternoon the Women Artists, and those who are attending the classes are getting a lecture as well as a history lesson
You bet.
or geography lesson.
You bet. We have, we often show maps. We have a very good audio-video system. We're very proud that we bought ourselves, out of our own money, a projector, but it was not the best. And MJC provided us with a new projector, which is just very sharp. It's something like a 60-inch screen, and we're
So
making good use of that.
how does a person become not a member, because we'll talk about that here in just a couple of minutes, but how does a person become a teacher?
We have a coordinator of each class, and then the individual classes are led by people that let it be known to the curriculum committee that they have an idea for a class or want to participate in a class. Oftentimes it will be the coordinator, in this case Marjorie Reese, who has gotten together all these different women, in this case, who are going to talk about different women artists. So the core, the most important people at Michael are really the coordinators of the individual classes. I enjoy being the president. I jokingly say they can call me supreme leader, but it's really a joke because it's almost on automatic pilot. Our pilot that I mentioned, Gene Richards, says that Michael is flown by angels because so many people do so many things, and it just happens. But there is a structure, and key to that structure is the curriculum committee. And they
So
put
who
everything
do we
together.
talk to if we want to get involved with this? Do we call you?
Well,
You're the president.
Yeah, right. First of all, you should probably, they do. talk to me. We do have a website.
Okay.
We have our very own.
Let me hold that up.
Yeah, michaelonline.org. And we're really proud of our, through the
I'll just put
wonders
this up
of
here.
modern technology, one of our members
There you go.
who moved to Seattle, Washington is still doing our website.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's right up to date for the new semester. The Michael letter is online
let me
as
take a look at
as
that.
part of that.
Yeah.
And
So it's
And
like
of
a
course,
newsletter that
on-
you can download
yeah,
online?
right.
Okay.
And on your computer, it's all in color.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, because this is just black and white, but yeah. Oh, and it gives like what you were talking about there, travels around the world. So I would be interested in taking that class. So I'll just hold it up here so you can kind of see what it looks
It's
like.
a very popular
So,
class.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to flip through this while you go
Okay.
ahead and explain some more. This looks very
Okay,
interesting.
we offer Young at Heart Tai Chi Tuesdays and Thursday mornings from 8:30 to 9:30.
I think I'll pass on
That's
that.
that's a warm up. Well, get your heart beating. And then many of our participants in Young at Heart then stay for the 10 o'clock class.
Now, do you offer refreshments in between?
Oh,
the
you
classes?
bet.
Oh, really?
You bet. In fact, not only you're
I'll
going to
write
come
you.
after all.
I am. I'm leaving tomorrow, and I'll be gone for a couple of weeks. But I'll give you a check, and I'll join when I get back.
Okay, well, we'd love to have you. Our angels magically provide snacks on a regular basis. Some of them are actually good for you from the farmer's market or from their own trees, backyard trees or gardens, but a lot of junk food, let's face it, cookies, and I've been known
Okay,
to
I'm in. You
eat
almost
a few of
lost me
those.
there for a minute, but I'm back.
Okay. So after you've strengthened your heart with Tai Chi, then you can stay. On Tuesdays, we have a retired banker named Jim McCabe, who's one of our ageless Michaelites, doing a class called The History of Money.
Yeah, I saw that in here. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I keep this?
Then,
Can I?
yeah,
okay,
you can,
all right.
sure. Tuesday afternoons, Basic Spanish for Seniors. Suzanne Wilkie is a lady who taught Spanish for many, many years, and she is very adroit at seeing the fear in your eyes when you're going to be called on, and she will not call on you. She'll call on that other guy. She's really good, lively, and really gets us thinking, learning more and more Spanish. And some of us took Spanish for 3 or 4 years in school. Some have been to Spain and to Mexico many times and are pretty good at it, and others of us are really bare bones. So she is very deft at helping everybody along as is appropriate for their level. Wednesdays, a new class that I'm really excited about. Dave Froba, who was the president last year, is coordinating a class called Making Technology Work for You. You would be a whiz at this, of course. But all these gadgets we have and that intimidate us.
Do I look like a gadget person?
Well, you must be. You've got this little empire of yours going. So you must be absolutely integrated to it. So for 5 weeks, we're going to have different people coming in and showing us how to do things like, this fantastic photo website called Picasa.
Uh-huh.
You can download this free program and do wonderful things with it with all your photos. And we're going to show how to use that effectively. Then on Wednesdays is a popular class that I've never been able to attend because it conflicts with my Kiwanis Club meeting, unfortunately. It used to be called the Writer's Workshop, and we're now calling it Writing It Down.
That looks very interesting. Do they talk about writing your memoirs or just writing?
That's a big part of
okay.
that. Yeah, it can be any kind of, the little write-up here says, come listen or bring your writing to the class, memoir, story, poetry, or prose, sharpen your skills in a supportive environment. And
I'm writing my memoirs now, so I need
good
to.
for you. Good for you. You're just telling me that, really.
No, actually, I am.
Good for you.
yeah.
My goodness. Is your husband helping you?
He gives me lots of material.
Okay.
He plays the banjo.
Yeah, I know.
Boy, do I have stories.
Yeah, I know that. I've heard his artistry. Thursday is our second most popular class, and it has existed since the beginning of Michael. And I call it our current affairs discussion group, but its official name is What in the World? And it covers anything. Usually we will write down the topics suggested by those in attendance each Thursday morning, because it's from 10 to 12 on Thursdays. And then we try to illuminate, to the extent that we can, some topic that's in the news. And it can be something very local and something kind of petty, or it might be something on a big scale, some real mind-blowing
So it's
situation.
kind of like a community of news. And you discuss what's been happening, or
Yes.
anybody who comes to the class and you write those topics down, do they bring news as well, or is it mostly
They
you
do.
talk about-
We
oh,
encourage people to bring clippings from the newspaper. We just encourage them not to read more than just a couple of sentences. But hopefully they've read it several times over and will be able to kind of fill us in. And one thing that really energizes the class is we have a divergence of opinion on things like, should the United States intervene in Syria right now? You know? Big questions. I mean, given that
Wow.
things have not
And it's
worked
only
out
2 hours?
well. Yeah, well, but it's every week, and it goes on year-round. This is a class that we offer every semester, every year. And we have different coordinators. Gary Moore, who lives in Turlock, is our vice president, and he is now the coordinator of What in the World for the next 5 weeks. Then Thursday afternoon, a class that I have carefully avoided called Bridge for Beginners.
I'm with you.
Yeah, right.
I don't know anything about bridge.
Surprisingly, they fill the place with avid bridge players.
Really?
Yeah, one day I didn't know what to do on a Thursday afternoon, and I thought, well, I'll go to Michael, forgetting that it was the bridge class. And they almost got me to stay. But, I managed to slip out. Now, Fridays, we offer select films. Now, these are films that people have really put time into choosing, and they're not ones that you would have seen because they're mostly foreign films, and I'm continually amazed at some, like this first title, Tuya's Marriage, 2006, in Mandarin. I don't know. You know, you go in and you find that it's really something well done, very, very well crafted movies. And Betty Bojsodi, who's one of our cultural treasures, is going to be coordinating that this semester. And it's just really adds a lot to Michael, even though they're not as well as attended as I would like. Now that we have our new projector, which has really high quality, even with a little bit of light trickling through the back door, we have a very sharp picture on the full screen, and the sound is sharp.
I
So
like foreign
it'll help.
films.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if we read the subtitles,
Mm-hmm.
or even watch a foreign film that doesn't have subtitles, we actually get the feel and the emotion
Oh.
of what the movie is trying to portray, rather than just listening to the words.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. So
Yeah, a lot
anyway,
of depth to these films.
I want
Oh,
to see what this
well,
is. What is our
we
time
have
like?
a-
How much time do we have? We have about 4 or 5
Yeah, the
minutes,
reason I
so-
brought this in was one of the classes we're offering, each semester is divided into 3 sessions of 5 weeks. And in the second or third 5-week session, we're going to be doing World War II.
Okay.
And one of the things that Michael does for people is it encourages them to read books that they wouldn't tackle ordinarily. Now, this sat on my shelf for several years. I heard Rick Atkinson, the author, interviewed, and I thought, wow, I've got to get that book. It's a Pulitzer Prize-winning book. It sat on my shelf for several years. Now, because we have this World War II class coming up, I actually read the book, and I thought, whoa, that is really, I'm so glad I did. I feel, I kept my father out of World War II, out of this North Africa campaign because I was born when this was happening. And in those days, they didn't draft you if you had kids. Then it turns out that they've assigned me to cover the China, Burma, India theater during the war. So the part that I'm going to be talking about doesn't have anything to do with North Africa.
So you have to read another book.
I already did. I read
good.
one called The Burma Road, and I read one called Stilwell and the American Experience in China. Vinegar Joe Stilwell was the main general in that part of World War II. So, and in addition to what we offer in the class, we have trips. About once a month, we have a trip to all kind of different places.
Like a field trip?
Yeah, you betcha. And they're a great deal. They're inexpensive. Let's see. I'm embarrassed to say I've forgotten the one that we talked about this morning. It's to, this was the fall of last year. So this is a year old. You see the films. No, this was a class that I led last year called The Ascendance of Asia. And I was really pleased to kick that off because, as you know, in our community, we have more and more Asian people. And Asia has become such a dynamic part of the world. We are delighted that one of our younger members, Shi Lan, is actually visiting China right now. She's been here for 15 or 20 years. She's going back to her home village, and also Shanghai and Beijing. And so she'll come back and show and tell about it. So
great. Well, we are just about out of time. We got about 45 seconds left. So give us your information, where we can find you. And let's see, where did we put that? Oh, here it is, right here. Okay, so we've got this, and that's your email. And do you have a phone number or a Facebook where we can check you out?
I don't know that we're actually on Facebook.
I can fix that for you.
Okay, yeah. MJC4Life.org, I guess, is the way to get the catalog if you don't have one. Or the Michael Online website, of course, has all this information too.
Great. Well, I thank you very much for coming out.
Thank you for having us.
When we talked on the radio, I got just a brief summary of what Michael is all about, and this was more extensive and very, very interesting.
Thank you.
So I want to become involved with this because
super.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it sticks with you too for the next 40 years.
Good. I hope I'm around that long. Thanks, Jerry.
Oh, by the way, my mom is 99 and a half years old, so this may be my last opportunity to say hi, Mom.
Okay. That's great. Thanks, Jerry.